All right, it's time for What Are Your Rights? Today we're talking Social Security. Recently, the New York Post reported a Bronx woman admitted to collecting her dead mother's Social Security checks for nearly 30 years. Brings up an interesting question. What's supposed to happen when someone who gets Social Security benefits passes away? Here to help us hash this out, Paul Harding from the law firm of Martin, Harding and Rosati. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Cody.
First of all, let's start this off. How does someone become eligible for these benefits?
Sure. You know, you put money in the system. They call them work credits. If you have enough work credits, you qualify for Social Security disability. Right. And if you become disabled or a certain age, you can then get the money that way.
Okay, so can a Social Security benefit recipient pass on those benefits? That's kind of a tricky area.
It is. You know, there's a limited time, and we have spouses and surviving spouses, and the surviving spouse will get a portion of the benefit that the deceased spouse had. But the general proposition, you just can't, will this to your kids and have it go down the generational line. It traditionally ceases upon death.
Which brings us to this Bronx case, which is a little strange here, where you have this woman who's been cashing her mom's checks for 30 years. How did she get away with it for all this time?
Well, either the Social Security didn't know about it or knew about it and kind of screwed it up. Now, if you get a check and you know you're not supposed to get it, you're supposed to return that check. She didn't do that, kept it going, as you said, for 30 years. But what they did is they ran a list of Medicare recipients, folks who were, a little older in life, who had not been to the doctors for 3 years, had not had a medical bill, and she fell on that list. They knocked on her door, and they found that she had been dead for 30 years.
Yeah, about 30 years too late on that.
It sure is, yeah.
What happens to her? Because, I mean, that's a serious offense. She's using taxpayer money.
She's going to jail. It's a felony. And I think 2 years is the plea negotiation that they worked out, and she's got to pay back the money also.
All right, so the bottom line, I guess, if you suspect that someone's taking advantage of the system or might be taking advantage of a relative who may have passed, what should people do?
Well, they have the hotlines. You got to just notify, and it's done anonymously. You can just kind of suspect that something isn't the way it should be, and that's how a lot of people are caught.
All right, Paul Harding,
thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today.